Hello, welcome to round 4 of the Karting1 SuperKart Championship. Tonight we're going to be racing at Paul Ricard, the famous French circuit of Blue Wonder. Yeah, it looked like we got a good race tonight. Unfortunately, championship leader isn't going to be racing this evening, Sam Fowler. He's got a iRacing 24-hour race. You know, come on, Sam, what are you doing? You should be here racing, son. I know at the last race I killed you. Virtually, and it was an accident. I did DQ myself, so no one can accuse me of being biased towards myself. I think I was deservedly so. So, yeah, unfortunately he isn't racing this evening, but I think we've still got a good race coming up. Once again, Amour's sort of taken a step up. He's going to be at the front. Fletcher's looking good, and yeah, the usual gang of guys. We're all going to be racing as hard as we can. So, yes. You know, thanks for everybody who's tuning in, and once again to Alpha Live and all the coverage that they've given the championship. I think they've done a fantastic job, and I think as we go into the sort of back to real racing, you know, those are the guys that I'd always recommend for coverage. They've done a great job with us, and it's been super professional all the way. So thanks to them. And yes, let's head over to the commentary team of Will Dendy and the returning Anthony Jordan. So you know, let's have a good race, and yeah, let's crack on. Let's head over.
Hello, all you sporting fans who are joining us here for the Karting1 SuperKart Championship here at Paul Ricard for round 4. I'm your commentator, Anthony Jordan. Joining me again is Will Dendy. Will, how are we?
Great, thank you, DJ. I'm really pleased to have you back, and you've missed some very exciting rounds. So yeah, this
I have
should
indeed.
be a brilliant one too.
Yes, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Paul Ricard, fantastic circuit. Around 12 corners we've got for this one. We've got many difficult corners to negotiate around this very tricky circuit. Lots of corners that I can't actually pronounce properly. I've had a good go. I've been practicing, and I'll do my best tonight, and we'll have a go at it. But again, a fantastic track here to be on. Will, yeah, talk us through what happened in the last couple of rounds. Of course, you've been to Donington and Silverstone, and I've missed all of it. What exactly happened?
Well, we had some fantastic action, DJ. It was we've seen some cracking racing to start with. I think that's the main thing to mention. We've also seen some very controversial accidents, what with Jack Dex doing a Dex on Stephen Calvert in Donington near the last lap. He had a fantastic drive through the field, and then ended up making a ambitious lunge, I would say, that I still think doesn't deserve a penalty, but the race director does, so we bow down to Alan. And then in the next round, of course, as you saw in the pre-race video, Alan decided to take out the championship leader and then disqualified himself. So I said at the time, I think it's unprecedented in the world of motorsport that the race director excludes himself. So I think this round looks to be equally as promising. Apparently it's a really bumpy track. The tyres are not really lasting for the whole race. There is not gravel traps to get stuck in like there was at Zandvoort when you commentated last, so this will be a very exciting one.
Yeah, the lack of gravel traps, or kitty litters as most of us in the motorsport community like to call them, are non-existent around this circuit here in France. And of course you just see the blue and white stripes all around this place. It's very easy to see where the runoff is and where the track limits are, and I'm sure these drivers will hopefully not use that excuse saying I didn't know where the track limit was. It's very clearly marked. But anyway, onto that one. In terms of point standings, of course, over the 4 rounds, many points have been given out. Sam Fowler, as we said, leading the way, but he's not participating in this round. He is away doing some other race that no one cares about. Then, of course, second place, Daniel Fletcher. He's the fastest man on the circuit at the moment in testing. He's been a rocket ship out there at the moment, so he is definitely the one to keep an eye on. Alan Dove, the bandit himself out on circuit, he's one to definitely keep an eye on, because he's been sending people, as you say, left, right and centre off the track. So we'll definitely keep an eye on him. I do remember actually the first round, the first race as well, he got sent into the wall, or was he sent someone else into the wall and he was a passenger along that as well? Who knows? Daniel Amour, he's in 4th place at the moment. Steve Calvert as well is in 5th place, and Jack Dex in 6th place Ocean Sharky in 7th, Liam Morley in 8th, Jack Bird in 9th place. I see he still has a simulator. I'm sure I didn't get hold of that one. And Max Tad in 10th place. They're your top 10 for the championship. I was really gutted about that simulator as well. I was looking forward to it, but never mind. It happens. But yeah, top 10 there. Very close in the points as well at the top. Only a few points separating the top 3, so it's definitely going to be the one to keep an eye on. But of course, our first place man, he isn't here, so who knows on that one. Anyway, Will, you've got an advert here. Do you want to talk us through it?
Yeah. So this is the brilliant Learn How to Master the Art of Kart Driving from Evenflow. Terence Dove, brilliant coach. I met him about 15 years ago now, and we've developed some of the content in here together. But I think it really moves forward kart driving, and in fact simulator and car driving. There's a lot of techniques, and it goes a lot into the mind and the approach to things that I think is kind of lacking in the coaching world. So yeah, I really recommend you to pick this book up, and also to go onto Evenflow and to sign up for Terence's subscriber list, because there are nuggets of gold that come through on a weekly basis that are just great for anyone that wants to improve their driving skills. So please do check out that book.
There you go. Yeah, like I say, you sold it to me on the first round. You've sold it to me again on round 4. But I still haven't picked up my copy yet, so I definitely need to do that one. And of course, but sim racing and racing, you know, they come together in such a way where you can practice skills on a sim, you can and you can put that forward into actual racing. You know, there are different aspects of that, but you know, we see it a lot where sim racers get into real cars. They're a little bit slow at the start, but then they pick up the speed, but they learn the aspects of racing, and it is great to see while they're out there. Of course, if you want to take part in any racing at all, if you want to be a part of a team, here's a perfect opportunity for you. An experienced sim racing team looking for drivers for Assetto Corsa, iRacing, rFactor 2, Pulse Sim Sport, a cracking team out there, and definitely in need of some new drivers there to show what you've got on track. So if you do want to join a team, get in touch with these guys, because they will give you a spot. Well, Will, it's going to be an interesting round here at this one. There's a French flag waving in the virtual wind here at France. Do you reckon it's going to be, what do you think the weather's going to be like for this one? Is it going to be a warm one?
Yeah, I think it's good that we've put our suntan lotion on, DJ, because it's very, very sunny, as you can see. I don't think there'll be any clouds coming over, and it'll be interesting to see if that wind makes a difference on track. I know that they're not Formula One car size, so they're not going to get blown around as much, but a headwind could really make slipstreaming even more strategically important here. So, and especially, look at these long straights. So I think, we're going to have a nice sunny day in the south of France, but there may be some wind issues.
Yeah, definitely so. Will, you've been to Simply Race recently, haven't you? I think we need to see what happened there.
Well, many months ago, before social distancing happened. But yeah, if any of you guys watching haven't been to Simply Race, I cannot recommend it strongly enough. It's caters for all levels of abilities. It's really well priced. So please do check out this video on YouTube, and just to get a bit of a taste of what they have there. And the Pro Sim is really, well, you'll see right there, it's a real workout on the arms. It's so realistic. They have a direct drive wheel that is powered by I think it's a motor from an elevator. So it's incredibly realistic. The guy that runs it, Mike, is so friendly. Grant, one of the others, so knowledgeable, and you get some cracking commentators as well, don't you, DJ?
I have commentated once or twice there before, yes, for some of the endurance rounds and the DTM stuff as well. It is a cracking venue, like I say. I have been there many times, and I worked there for a bit as well, so I can't say too much because I'll be a bit biased. Anyway, on to that one. So we will hopefully get the grids up for you in just a moment for race 1. In the meantime, though, unfortunately, you are going to have to listen to a little bit more of me and Will talking gibberish for the time being. Until that one, Will, have you ever done any laps around the Paul Ricard circuit?
So, no, but I have actually been to the kart circuit, which is next door, with Alan. And in fact, Alan did a very Alan thing. We were invited along by McLaren to like drive the karts, these IX-Road karts with 50 horsepower, and show some of the clients that they had that were rather wealthy turning up in their private planes. And I was following Alan, and you know, the track turns right, and all of a sudden Alan just full hard down left and steers right off the track. So I can promise everyone that it's not just in simulators that Alan does completely random things. It was also in real life. You never know what he's going to do next, and I think that might Alan's going to be fighting at the front, and I'm glad we've got the reverse grids back, because that adds a bit of excitement as well.
I think carnage is the right word.
Yeah, carnage.
Excitement's a good way of putting it. Excitement is an excellent word. We'll use excitement. It's a little bit nicer than carnage. While you were explaining that story about Dove turning left at a right-hand corner, if you could see my face, my facial expression will have said everything you would have needed to know about what on earth was he thinking when he did that. But anyway, yeah, well, there you go. Remind me never to go racing with Alan Dove in real life, because it sounds petrifying. I think is a good word. Is a good word to do it. Again, this round 2 races for us today, 15-minute races. The drivers currently, I believe, just finished qualifying. I believe they're just doing a little warm-up session now. In the meantime, and I can see straight away on my live timing screen in the testing, in the little practice session, Daniel Fletcher is at the top of it at the moment. So there we go. Daniel Fletcher, he was proved quick earlier on today, and he's proving quick as of now while he's out there. And again, the other guys are all very fast. It's going to be an interesting one.
So what sort of lap times are they doing, DJ?
So lap times that I can see are over 2 minutes. So 2 minutes 2 I've got at the moment. But of course, these are the first times that they're bringing in. So these are probably just out laps and their first laps, and the tyres aren't at temperature yet. We're maybe expecting, I don't know if we're expecting a 2 minutes solid, if it's a 2:01, anything along that. I mean, it is a 2:02.0. So the chance of us going into a 2:01 today are very high. Whether or not we do see it is, again, yet to be seen. So we'll have to see for that one.
I think that might add a very interesting strategic element in that, yeah, fair enough, you could do 2:01s, but you're going to burn your tyres up. So it'll be really interesting. I think the winner for today will be the one that maybe doesn't, as you saw in the first round, hangs back a bit and then decides to save the tyres and then gives it all at the end. So it'll be interesting with the lap times. I think there's a lot of straights here, isn't there? And the slipstream effect is really strong. So it might be a close one, DJ. What do you think?
Well, yeah, again, the slipstream effect does take a part in this one. Phone's ringing, mate. But yes, the slipstream does take over quite a lot in this one. There is the chicane, though, in the middle of the straight. So they can't do the whole straight. I think that they top out halfway through. So they have got the chicane to slow them down. But yeah, that'll be the one to see. Anyway, enough of us talking. Let's have a look at the grids for race 1 as they hopefully appear on the screen now. Not yet. I've got the man in my ear talking to me going, I've got the grids ready, but they're not showing up. So let's talk about something else until they do show up. So yes, where were we? Slipstream it.
I've seen a comment on YouTube, DJ, from Sam Bird that says, yeah, I'm still here with my rig. All good. So yeah, please do keep the comments coming in, and we'll we'll read them out. But it always adds a bit of interaction.
Yes, I can imagine. Okay, I've been told that this might be it. Do we have the grids for race 1 appearing on your screen? That does look like a grid to me, and there it is. Daniel Moore starting on pole position with Alan Dove in second place. Daniel Fletcher, the man who we need to keep an eye on because he's quick around here, is starting in third. Jack Dex in fourth. Steve Calvert in fifth place. Dean Hale in 6th place. Harry Buck, who I just had to fix his computer for him, is in 7th place. Ocean Sharky in 8th place with a 1:22.518. 9th place, Jonathan Bell. Gavin Bennett in 10th place. Jack Bird with my simulator in 11th place. Tony Moore in 12th. And Andy Dean, BSK, in 13th place. Let's go to the grid.
And Gavin Bennett is actually a multiple European SuperKart Championship, so it's great to have him along today, and it'll be interesting to see how he can translate that experience into real life.
Good stuff. I believe this is actually the start of the race that we have got now. There's no more flying laps. It's standing starts from now on as we go in towards turn 1. Again, a very fast corner through this, and lots of drivers. There's already carnage in the background.
Jack's in the wall.
Absolute carnage. Yeah, I think you were right. It was Jack Dex, I think, who's gone down. Gavin Bennett as well. Jack Bird, I think, was also involved. He's been going up and down the leader. But Daniel Amore, at the moment, leading away from Alan Dove. Daniel Fletcher will hopefully get that timing tower on your screen at the end of this lap. And these guys all flying around as they head through the back section of the second. Now, onto this long straight, Will.
Great start from Andy Dean. He's come from last up to, well, it was 6th at one point. He seems to be going a bit backwards now. But yeah, Andy Dean from last has got a brilliant start. Dean
on
Hale.
board now with Andy Dean. Yep, he's in 8th place at the moment, 7th and 6th in front of him as they start to go into the braking zone now. Now that tricky chicane down the middle of the straight. Big lock up there, and 6th place straight off the circuit. Who was that went off? Was that Tony Moore? Tony Moore straight off the track at the first heavy braking zone.
That's cost him a lot of places right there.
It has indeed cost him a lot. The very bright pink Harry Buck now making his way through the circuit. This was the issue that he needed help with. He needed help getting that livery actually on the car, and I don't know why he wanted it on there. Anyway, here we are. Ocean Sharky, 5th place behind Harry Buck. He's 0.8 of a second behind him in 5th place. He had a good start throughout that, but of course there was carnage in that mid-pack, so these guys having to watch out for that one as they head through these tricky sections. I'm trying to realise. Daniel Fletcher, apparently, who we're with now in 3rd place. He's hunting down the bandit that is Alan Dove as they go through. I think this is Tour. We're heading into Virage Dupont. Now is this corner. He's been practicing as they head back onto the start-finish straight.
I'm very impressed with your French, DJ. That's.
Thank you. I don't know any.
Oh, there we go. Alan's really slipstreaming Daniel Amore. So. I think it could be a battle at the front, and that's going to mean that Daniel Fletcher can just sit back and just save his tyres while these two battle and probably slow each other down. So it's all to play for here.
Right, okay. Well, I think there's drama at the back of the grid. Andy Dean there, you can see him, 9th place, just been overtaken by Jack Dex. I think he had a bit of a wobble at one point on the circuit. So he's going to have to now fight his way back up. Another big lock up there. Doesn't run off the track. He stays within track limits. But again, you can see now, just with that small lockup with these tyres, how much they turn into 50p so quickly. It looks like he's really struggling out there for traction.
Yeah, I think he's overheated his tyres. I wonder if he's got some kind of other issue. But it's really interesting to see that Jack Dex is already up to 8th place after that crash at the start. Here we go, and he's going to have 7th for sure. So Gavin Bennett doesn't even bother to defend. He just knows that it's a done deal. And yeah, with Jack, he's coming through, isn't he? So good choice there not to defend.
Yep, it was a very good choice. He has managed to get in front, but now this is where Gavin Bennett's going to have the slipstream on this straight as we go into the sweeping right-hander of, it looks like Signs to me, but I suspect it's pronounced a lot different to that. Again, round the outside here, very brave move from Gavin Bennett, and he can't make it done just yet. Jack Dex holds on to that one, and again, that is a smart move because that could have been a massive accident.
Yeah, I think so. It just showed that because Gavin Bennett didn't defend, he then had the run out of the corner on the next straight. So yeah, it's always good to concede the place if you know it's a done deal rather than try and hang it around the outside, especially with someone like Jack, because he'll have you straight off. So now we head over to Alan Dove, who's chasing down Daniel Amore, 4/10 on this really long straight. So if he can get a bit of a slipstream, there might be a chance for a lunge, but I think we'll see Alan being a bit more sensible in this race than the last one.
Well, hopefully so, as they head through into turn 1 again. Very fast left-hander into the fast right-hander now, and this is where it comes really tricky. There's definitely, I would think, track limits there for Alan Dove. I'm sure he'll have cleared that penalty by himself via the server that's probably on a laptop right next to him. So there we go. As we go downhill through this tricky left-right section as they head back onto the main straight now, this is where that slipstream, Will, is going to take effect.
Yeah, I think so. I think if Alan can just keep it tidy, look after his tyres, it looked like he nearly lost it going over that curb. He could have easily spun it round. I mean, the curb is probably half as high as the kart, so yeah, he won't want to be doing that again, that's for sure.
Well, definitely not. Of course, these are short wheelbase karts. You know, they're not full-size karts. These tyres are tiny. They are a kart with just a big engine on it. They are very, very quick, but any bump or undulation on a circuit can massively affect the handling of one of these karts. At such high speeds as well, you need to have laser reactions to deal with it, and these guys at the front are showing that they have them.
Yeah, I think it's such an evenly matched battle at the moment. You've got Daniel Fletcher, who isn't very far behind Alan, so it'd be really interesting to see what the view from on board his kart is. It's what, 7/10 now? So yeah, now we're on board with Fletcher, and it looks very stationary at the moment, but we've got 9 minutes left. And I think Daniel Fletcher, yeah, he just looks so smooth and in control. So interesting line there that he went in so early. That did save quite a lot of... he travelled a lot less distance than the other two who chose to go out wide. And I think it might have saved the tyres as well. So definitely Fletcher playing the long game here.
Yeah, that's definitely one of them as well. The tyre game on here is crucial. I did have a chat with Alan earlier today, and he was saying that the tyres are a crucial part of this. They are struggling to make the end of the race. So when it gets to the end of the race, if a driver has seriously looked after his tyres, he will get that checkered flag. If they haven't looked after it, they're going to be a sitting duck to the guys who have. And as you can see at the moment, yeah, it looks like he has lost a little bit of time here, Daniel Fletcher. But I suspect with that smooth driving style at the end of the race, I reckon he's going to be on point for a win here, maybe. Oisin Sharkey here, 5th place. He's just behind Harry Buck again in that very bright pink car that luckily we don't get to see too often. I am slaying him for that one. It is a very nice livery. But onto the back straight again here. I don't think he's close enough for a slipstream here, is Oisin. So he is going to struggle with this one. He's 1.5 away. Keep an eye on that delta. As you can see, it does look like he's actually going up. So he looks like he's had a bad exit out of that corner before the straight. Can he make any ground up into the braking zone? No, I think he loses more. So there we go. We know that Harry Buck has been practicing. He did say to me he had been practicing in qualifying. He had no idea what he was going to do. But at the moment, it's working well for him. 4th place for Harry Buck still at the moment. Oh, here's some action here. Jack Bird, 10th place. Now, again, I think the question was at round 1, if he didn't win the race, he loses his sim. At the moment, he's fighting for 10th place. He has got Tony Moore all over the back of him. He's staying out of the slipstream. Tony Moore, he looks like he's going to go for the sweep back, the cut back here as we look as them going through now. No, he's going to sweep round the outside. What a move from Tony Moore. Jack Dex caught sleeping there. Jack Bird, sorry.
I really thought that who's in the black cart now. I've got so confused. But you could see him lose it off the curb, and if the other cart was there, that would have been a horrendous accident. I think the tyres are just really overheated now from Tony Moore.
Yeah. These guys, they're struggling, I think, to look after these tyres. Jack Bird and Tony Moore squabbling with each other, but running wide everywhere, left, right, and centre. Let's go back to our 2nd place man, Alan Dove, see how he's doing. He's not gained really any time. He's still 7/10 down, so just keep a very close eye on. This is going to be the battle of who has looked after those tyres more. You know, that's the important part of it. It does look, though, that Daniel Fletcher has actually caught back up slightly as well. So these guys concertinaing back up as they open up on the back straights, close up into the braking zones again. It will just have to be, as we get into the last 6 minutes of this race, who has looked after their tyres more.
I'd be really interested to see an onboard of Daniel Moore to see how he's managing his tyres, because often when you're out front, you sometimes you can be a bit scared, but other time, well, there's our answer there. He's just locked his wheels. So 50p's, DJ, they're going to be becoming 50p's. But yeah, sometimes you can manage your tyres and manage the race, and other times you're kind of fighting to stay in front and keep people out of your slipstream. So as we go on board with Daniel Fletcher, he's just got such a smooth and conservative style. You see here, just winds it on. Wow, he gains massively on Alan there because he ran out on the exit. Okay, but
yes,
but yeah, you see how he's just so smooth. He loads everything up, really delicate with the kart. So my money's on Daniel Fletcher to overtake Alan Dove before the end of the race, actually.
Well, it does look like it. It seems like he's just a little bit smoother. Alan seems to be struggling in this tail end of the circuit. Sector 3 on this very fast track. That is now, of course, a Formula 1 circuit. Came back to the season last year around. It was an interesting race, but not as interesting as this one that we're watching right now. Alan Dove,
that's for sure,
now in danger from Daniel Fletcher. He's in the slipstream. They're on the start-finish straight, and there's only 4.5 minutes to go. Alan Dove, I believe, has got a bead of sweat going down the back of his neck now.
I think so. I don't think that you're going to see Alan putting up much of a fight. And in fact, that could be a smart move to let Daniel Fletcher through to chase down Daniel Amore. Then when they have a bit of a tussle, you could catch back up. But then again, there's only, what, 2-3 laps left? So I think, well, yeah, Alan should defend for his life now. I don't think, well, yeah, Daniel Fletcher, the championship leader, that's who Alan Dove needs to make a few inroads into. Alan misses the apex there, but that's given him quite a nice entry into the left-hander. So I think Alan's going to play a very good game here. I don't think he's going to do anything too risky to further damage his reputation. So, yeah, this could be a good battle. And Alan is a brilliant racer, and he knows how to get people back. So, yeah, definitely Alan's going to be slipstreaming Daniel Fletcher back on this next straight. I really think he's going to get the place back. And here we go. Yeah, straight back past
Well, he's got a much better exit out of the chicane. Yeah, much better exit out of the chicane, heading now into the fast right-hander. Daniel Amore checked out. Thank you very much. He's on his way here for what looks to be an easy win. But, of course, still 3 minutes to go. We're only on lap 6. As, again, Daniel Fletcher, Alan Dove battling away for that second place on the podium. Again, it's so close. It does look like Daniel Fletcher is a little bit faster through the section. You see the different line here. He's going to go out wide. He's going to cut back, pick up that late apex here at Village, and then he's going to come in towards Tor. That is the penultimate corner, which is actually a very, very tight corner as they come into it now, into the penultimate corner, sweeps in, then back into Virage Dupont as they sweep back now onto the start-finish straight. Great to see it. Just see the transition left, right as they go back onto the start-finish straight. Again, look at Alan Dove. He's trying to break the toe there from Daniel Fletcher. Is that going to pay off though, Will?
I think I think so. I've raced Alan numerous times, and when he's on form, he is really unbeatable. Like, you overtake him and he gets you back. You try and overtake him and he just places the car or the cart in the perfect place. He really has got some cracking racecraft when he's on form. And I think that we've got 1 or 2 laps to go. I think Alan's going to be fighting for his life. And, well, I take back my prediction of Daniel Fletcher beating Alan, actually, because Alan, he's just like a puppy in a way. He just won't go away. And he's so, when he's on form, yeah, he's unbeatable, really.
On form and off track. Just there is Alan Dove as he heads back onto the start-finish straight. Again, trying to break that toe from Daniel Fletcher. We go on board with Fletcher into the braking zone here at the chicane. Is it going to be a late lunge? No, he thinks against it, stays behind. Look how bumpy it is as they go through there. The kart control these guys are showing is fantastic. Now, you can see there, 2 very different racing lines. Fletcher, he hits that inside curb quite hard, and as you can see, it massively unsettles the car. Dove doesn't. He gets a better exit now, and that's why the slipstream here, now it's kicking in, has not taken effect because of that incident at the curb.
And again, he runs over the curb, and you can just see that the tyres aren't making contact with the floor, and therefore you can't get the power on. So that is really costing him a lot. And Daniel Fletcher looking a bit more flappable than he was earlier in the race. I'm sure he's trying his hardest to find a weakness.
I'm sure he will find a weakness, but flappable, that is a new one. I'll write that one down. I may use that one. Flappable. Here we go, lunge there from Fletcher. I've not heard it, no. Lunge there from Fletcher. It was a bold move, almost made it done. 40 seconds left on the clock. These guys are now on their last lap. Daniel Amore at the moment absolutely flying away with it because these two are scrapping. Alan Dove wants that spot. These guys will know it's the last lap, so we're going to see some lunges here, and there's a slipstream move. Is he going to go around the outside here of the left-hander? We go off track. No, Alan Dove holds on to that one as they cut back now through this left-hander. These guys really battling through, and it was actually a right-hander, not a left-hander. Well, there you go. That's me getting overconfident there with this track. Now into another right-hander, then sweeping back downhill left-hander. Stay off those curbs. Those curbs are super, super harsh with these guys. And this is where we're going to see the most defensive driving you've ever seen, Will.
I think so. These karts are so narrow, though, that it's very hard to do defensive driving. So I think maybe Daniel Fletcher will send a move in on that left-hander that we saw in this time, and just chuck it in and hope. But then again, Daniel Fletcher is the championship leader. Oh, here we go. Strong slipstream. Go into the outside. I don't think that's going to work on Alan. Alan's going to go really deep on the brakes. There we go. Yeah, and he's... Oh, oh God.
There it is.
Happened? The move's done. That's it.
Very clear. It looks like Fletcher's going to slow it down. Is he just eased off slightly, or has Alan Dove not lost a lot of time as they go both off track, almost colliding again as they went into the first chicane? Alan Dove wants his position back on board with him now as they go through. Is he going to try and get the cut back here, get on that power early? No, he doesn't. He can't quite do it. Now, we know Fletcher is quick through this last section. So is Alan going to pull something out the back? Fletcher goes wide. Dove down the inside. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Back through. Thank you very much.
Now Alan needs to defend this left.
Still, though. He does need to defend it, but Fletcher's still got the inside line, pushes him out wide as well. Is he going to try and get the cut back here again? No, he can't. Back on board with Dove. Third place is not going to be good enough for him. Expect a lunge in these last two corners, Will.
I don't think so. I think that Alan's going to play it cool. He's not going to chuck it in the right here, surely. What a move.
Of course he is. Of course he is. It's Alan Dove, but he's outbraked himself. But here's your race winner, Daniel Amor, start to finish, qualified on pole. First to first, flag to flag, absolute masterclass. And Daniel Fletcher came second at the end. Now, we saw that Alan Dove went for that lunge. He outbraked himself, and of course, Fletcher got the cutback, came through, and then came second place. So, Daniel Amor, Daniel Fletcher, Alan Dove, Harry Buck taking fourth, Jack Dex in fifth, Steve Calvert in sixth place. And it's seventh place for Gavin Bennett and Dean Hale, who we're looking at here in the 31 car, taking eighth, where did he finish? Where's he gone on my list? Eighth place, yes, of course he did. Jack Bird finishing ninth, he had a good run there. Jonathan Bell in 10th, Tony Moore in 11th, Andy Dean in 12th place, and then Ocean Sharkey in 13th, rounding out your grid. Well, what a first race that we had there. Super close at the front, Will. That is what we want to see from SuperKarts.
Yeah, that was brilliant. And we've seen, over the last few rounds, we've seen some really strong battles, some great driving, and I think that just goes to show how good these drivers are at racecraft. That was brilliant, and so well driven from Daniel Fletcher and Alan Dove, and I have to mention Jack Dex, who's managed to get up to fifth from last, so he overtook Stephen Calvert. It would have been interesting to see whether there were any fireworks there like there were at Donington, or whether it was a clean move, but those two are so evenly matched. So we've had some great battles throughout the whole field.
Yep, exactly. So if you are watching on Facebook or YouTube, stick around. Race 2 is coming up very shortly, and from what we've just seen there, you definitely don't want to miss it. A fantastic race from Race 1. A brilliant spectacle here at the Paul Ricard circuit in France for round 4. Now, well, Race 2, we've always seen it. Are we doing a reverse grid for Race 2?
We are.
I remember
we are.
We are. Oh, crikey, it's going to be carnage.
It's interesting. Now we've got the standing starts. There seems to be a lot less carnage than there was with the rolling ones. But still, we had a few offs, and we're going to have some very quick drivers, very keen to come through the field. So I think it's really hard to call who's going to be strong in this one. But DJ, who's your driver of the race for the first race?
Well, for Race 1, well,
yeah,
you don't want to say it because he organises it, but I'm going to have to put that one on Dove. It's the first race that he's actually been quite clean, so I'm going to give that one to him. He's pulled his finger out and he's done very, very well in that one. So yeah, I'm definitely going to give that one to Dove.
I think well deserved, actually. Alan drove a brilliant race at I think it was Donington. He led the race, won the race, and then in the second race he came second. So Alan can have some crackers when he's not doing something silly. So I think I'd have to give it to Alan as well. Brilliantly driven, controlled. Great racecraft there to cut back. So it'll be interesting to see who will be our driver of the meeting after this next one.
Yes, exactly that. So we'll have to see as we go into Race 2 very, very, very shortly. But yeah, let's have a look. You've already spoken about it once, but well, let's hear about it again.
Yeah, well, I've said it so many times. now, DJ, but I can't recommend this book enough. Brilliant book. Yeah, it's not just turn left here, turn right here, this is how to brake. It's much more in depth, and to be honest, is more like a high performance coaching book for many sports. But it goes through everything. Great for driving in the wet, great for simulators. So please pick it up
and read it. Don't forget that.
And read
Pick it up, but make sure you read. Yeah, exactly. Don't forget that bit. No, excellent stuff. Yeah, again, it looks fantastic. I definitely need to get myself one because for me, I like to think that I'm good behind the wheel. A lot of people say that I'm not. I disagree, of course. I do think I am a driving masterpiece, but people again disagree. In fact, yourself, Will, you disagree, and I think I'm good enough to actually join the Pulse SimSport team as well. You know, they're an experienced team, and they're looking for experienced drivers, such as myself, driving on Assetto Corsa, iRacing, and rFactor 2. Again, if you want to have a go, hit them up: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm guessing it's Pulse SimSport on all platforms. So, guys, if you want to get involved, check them out. But yes,
they do say, DJ, that all men think that they're very good at two things, and driving is one of them. And I think you're a good driver. You've done some. You know, we had the Will Dendy Memorial Trophy, and you were right up the front against touring car drivers and Formula Renault drivers and great kart drivers. So yeah, I think you're good at driving, DJ. I'll give you that one. It would be interesting to see if at any point during the year you get Jack Bird's rig and you can have a little play at the next round. But yeah,
you're making me blush, Will. You're making me blush. There we go. But no, of course, yeah, that was a brilliant race, of course, that we had there at Wilton Mill. But yeah, it was fantastic. Well, anyway, race 2 is almost upon us. Let's have a look at the grids. Starting then on pole position, obviously finishing at the back of the grid. Oisin Sharkey there, first place. He's going to have to show us what he's got under the bonnet of that kart, even though the engine is not under a bonnet. Andy Dean in second place, Jonathan Bell third, Tony Moore in fourth, Jack Bird there starting in fifth place. A good shot for him to hold on to that simulator, even though that's 3 times now he has to give it to me. Dean Hale in sixth place, Gavin Bennett seventh, Steve Calvert in 8th place, sporting a 0. Jack Dex in 9th place, Harry Buck in 10th, Alan Dove, who hopefully is going to have a clean race. He's not going to barge anyone out of the way. He's going to get through proper in 11th place. Daniel Fletcher in 12th, and Daniel Amore starting at the back in P13. Only 13 karts, but an exciting race that we had in race 1. Are we going to see it again in race 2, Will?
I think so, and I think there might be an added element of... Okay, they're on the grid, so here we go. We're going to go straight into the start. No warm-up lap. Over to you, DJ.
Excellent. Yes, let's cut to them now as we see them lined up there. And I'm going to get my timing screen up because I currently don't have it. I do now. So there we go. On my screen as these guys go through. It does say that Andy Dean is on pole here. I'm not sure if that's correct. We'll have to see. 6 seconds on the clock as they go through. The lights will come on that we can't see. Green lights on, and we are away. It's a good start from all, nice and clean as they go through, and it looks like it is Andy Dean at the front, so I'm not sure what happened to the order as Sharkey is all the way at the back of the grid. So that's not what he was expecting, I don't think, as we go through. Jonathan Bell taking the lead. He's now got past Andy Dean, who's slowly falling down the end. Looks like everyone is on well. Who are we on board with here? I think this is Steve Calvert who we're on board with now. He's having a look down the inside of Jack Dex here into turn 3 at the start. Can't make anything done there. Runs slightly wide as Jack Dex looks like he's been pushed out, and there's a little bit of carnage in the mid-pack, Will.
Yeah, a lot of carnage. We saw a spinner or two there, so I'm not sure who it is.
Yeah, I think further back here, Daniel Moore, our race winner last time in the 43. He's got Tony Moore and Harry Buck just in front of him now. He's going to slice through this sandwich of superkarts. Is he going to move to the inside? He does move to the inside as they get defensive. A little bit of door banging from Tony Moore there as he looks like he tries to concede the place. No, he doesn't. And now he's under all sorts of pressure from the guys behind. Steve Calvert, Harry Buck, Alan Dove, all in this group here.
Well, that was an aggressive move from Stephen Calvert there, who just managed to send it up the inside on the right-hander. But now we're on board with Alan, versus... Oh, there was a bit of contact there. So Alan's lost a bit of speed down to 10th.
And you can see how a small bit of contact there can massively affect your speed, as we saw the other two slide through. Here's Harry Buck, 10th place for him at the moment, flying through, and he is going to want to try and match his points that he had in race 1. 4th place he finished, and hopefully he gets that again this time. Now it looks like Daniel Lamore's managed to get through, and so has Jack Dex. So Jack Dex now 4th place. He's looking good at the moment. He's hunting down Fletcher, who's had an excellent start, already up into P3.
Yeah, so the O-Plate Daniel Fletcher somehow has managed to make 10 places, well, 8 places on 9 places in one lap. So incredible start from him. Normally it's Jack Dex that we see flying through the field. He's had a good start, but Daniel Fletcher's really been the one that's put everyone else to shame in terms of positions gained on lap 1. So Alan Dove back up to 6th now, right behind Daniel Lamore. So it'll be interesting to see if Alan, now that he's a bit closer, can slipstream. I think they're very close looking at it. Will Alan send? No. So Alan's not going to send it up the inside here, but he'll play a smart game and look to get through where it's clean and possibly slow Daniel Lamore down. So this looks like a good opportunity.
Potential drama at the front of the pack. Daniel Lamore 5th place. And Jack Bird, apparently, is leading this race. I'm not sure what happened there. Daniel Fletcher is now in 2nd place. So I'm not sure what we missed, but drama happened at the front. Jack Dex now still in 4th place. Alan Dove in 5th. He's going to be wanting to get to the front of this pack. So it's Jack Bird leading this way. He could be in for a chance to holding on to that simulator. But Daniel Fletcher is all over the back of him.
And Alan Dove passed Daniel Lamore somewhere, so it'd be really interesting to know where. I think he must have slipstreamed him on the long straight, and he's got a good gap between himself and Daniel Lamore. So Daniel Fletcher's taking the lead now from Jack Bird.
Yep, that fabled outside the corner there, that fast right-hander. He made it work. Again, he runs it out wide here, carrying a lot of speed and then cutting it back through. As we look back here, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. This amazing little battle. It's Alan Dove leading this group, followed by Jack Dex, I believe. Yeah, they've sliced through there, haven't they?
Hot knife through butter is Alan Dove. He's now up to 3rd, and he started this lap, what was it, 6th? So brilliant driving there. There's been a bit of contact between Jack Dex and Daniel Lamore.
Yep, believe Daniel Lamore, who did go off the circuit there. He's been pushed back quite a few places now. He's in 4th place, so that's been a bit of a disaster for himself. Alan Dove now up into 3rd place. You can see Alan there in the white car just up ahead. Daniel Lamore in the black one that we're looking at now just behind. And this is going to be an interesting one, of course. Daniel Lamore, who won the first race, he's not going to want to lose this one, is he?
No, I don't think so. I'd be surprised if he can take victory here, but after seeing the commanding performance he put in last time, it could be possible. But Alan is doing incredibly well here. I don't think he'll be able to catch Daniel Fletcher. He had such strong pace in the first race, did Daniel. So, but Alan's looking strong to take 2nd here. Yeah, just drafts right past him. Jack Bird not trying. Wow, strong top end speed from Jack Bird there. I don't know who tunes his engines, but must be good.
Well, yeah, and also it could be that wind. We did see that flag waving violently earlier, so maybe there's a strong headwind here at Paul Ricard as they go down the back straight. Jack Bird now having to defend slightly from Daniel Lamore, but Daniel Lamore has managed to get past as we head through into the sweeping right-hander now as these guys battle through. It looks like it's settled down now at the front of the grid with Daniel Fletcher leading the way by 1.6 seconds.
So we have
Daniel Fletcher, lap 3 for him. No, go on, Will. Go on. You can talk.
We have the two Jacks together. I think that it would be interesting to see whether Jack Dex can move up the field anymore. He's always a strong contender, but I don't think he gets the time to practice, what with his busy racing life that he leads. So yeah, this might be it for Jack now, but the two Jacks in the two yellow karts are going very well today.
Yes, and that doesn't confuse me in the slightest. A Jack Dex and a Jack Bird, both in identical karts. Thank you very much, whoever came up with those liveries. Anyway, 8.5 minutes left on the clock. Lap 4 that we're on now, and we are on board with Dean Hale is who we're going to now. And this is a battle for 8th place with Sharky, who we've had. He started at the back. I believe I had a look from the man who's operating the server at the moment. Apparently it was DNF, but the server put him in, but it put him at the back, which is a huge disaster for him. But he's doing well, up into 8th place. A great recovery drive from him from the back of the pack. But again, battling hard with Dean Hale, who I believe just managed to get past. But now we're going to have the slipstream as it closes in there. As you can see, he runs out wide. He's going to get cut across the nose here for the apex. And as they go into the slipstream now, this is where the overtake will happen.
So I don't think there'll be much chance here, but oh, and as I say that, he drafts right past him. So yeah, you could be right about that headwind, DJ. A bit of contact there. That's, oh, I hope there's not any damage on either of those karts. I think that Dean Hale will have to probably give that place up if he hasn't already, since that was a bit of a track cut there. Dean Hale doesn't look like he's defending too hard.
Yeah, bit of remnants there from the 2019 F1 Grand Prix with Daniel Ricciardo at that corner. But here's Jack Dex trying to get past Jack Bird, and down the inside he goes. Thank you very much. That's 4th place for Jack Dex. And that is how you do it. A little bit tighter on that line. Is that going to affect his tyres, though? As you can see, Jack Bird holding that wider line, scrubbing less of that tyre, not trying to fight the kart to try and get it to that apex. He's letting it flow out wide, looking after those tyres, keeping the temps cool in the tyres, as I'm sure it is very easy to overheat these things.
Yeah, it is indeed. And then that makes any contact all the worse because you don't have the grip to keep it on track. And talking of contact, I see a comment from Stephen Calvert on YouTube who said binned out. And that explains why he's unfortunately DNF'd. He's been going so well over the last few rounds. It'd be interesting to know what happened to him. But yeah, we're on board with Jonathan Bell, who's also chasing down the yellow kart of Jack Bird. So not going brilliantly for Jack. Maybe his tyres aren't in such a good condition as we thought.
Well, yeah, no, you're right in saying that. So we'll just have to keep a very close eye on these. Jonathan Bell then, and Jack Bird is now under pressure from Jonathan Bell, I should say, as we head now back onto the back straight. But it's getting close here. 2nd place, Daniel Amore. Thank you very much. Down the outside, Alan Dove pulls to the side, lets him pass, but yeah, drafting him back, sends it straight back down the inside again. He says, thank you back. And Daniel Amore, who of course we did say, won the first race. He's going to try and get back here in the slipstream. A little bit of touching as they go through, but they stay in the straight and narrow as we head into the sweeping corner again. Are we going to see that fabled move round the outside of this corner as we sweep through? No, he doesn't. He tries the switchback move. Again, it doesn't work. Stays behind. Alan Dove holds on to 2nd place.
So it's a cracking move from Alan there. That's happened to me in real life where someone drove past me and then I slipstreamed them and managed to do them back. So really smart from Alan there to just get straight back in the slipstream and lunge it through and then park it on the apex of the right-hander to prevent Daniel Amore from getting a really strong slipstream and a strong exit onto the next straight. So Alan's driving excellently today. I think that disqualification in the last race is really, I'm sure the race director, I'm sure Alan gave himself a talking to after that, and he's driving excellently now.
I suspect so. On board then with Daniel Amore as they head in towards Verrières, turn 1. Again, a very fast corner as they go through, trying to get the slipstream here. Not going to work. Tries to get the switch back, almost makes contact with Alan Dove. That's not going to go well. You'll find yourself disqualified from the championship like that if you take out the championship organizer.
Yes, yeah, Alan is very harsh on his race directing, but I'm surprised that Alan defended that corner because I don't think that Daniel Amore could have lunged it up there, it being such a quick corner. So yes, surprised to see a cracking battle here with Oysin Sharkey and Jack Bird. He's moving further and further down the order, so that simulator might be coming to you soon, DJ.
Yeah. Back with Daniel Moore with the battle for second place with Alan Dove. And again, exciting as ever. Big lock up there from Dove. Manages to hold on to that one. Daniel Moore is going for the switchback, and there's a huge moment there for Dove, and he's struggling now out of this final corner. This could be the opportunity Daniel Moore was looking for. In the slipstream now, pushing him along. Now he's going to switch to the outside. Yes, he is. And are we going to go to that outside move? Again, no. Again, he tries to get that switchback, and this time it's worked, and he's collected him. He's collected Dove. Dove goes off the circuit, and I'm sure the red mist is going to descend, and Alan Dove is going to come straight back at him.
He dealt with that really well, to use the off circuit that he had been forced onto to get a better radius for the next corner. So really, again, good driving from Alan. A bit of contact was kind of inevitable there. Daniel Moore would have... Oh, and brilliant move from Alan. Lunged it right up there. But yeah, he didn't brake. That's how he managed to have such an overspeed.
Yeah, that seems to be the famous move from Alan Dove. If in doubt, don't brake, send it. There we go. And this time it worked, but not for long. Back into third place then for Alan Dove. And he's going to have to try and get that slipstream move now. Lap 7, 2.5 minutes to go. There is not much time left. Probably the penultimate lap that we're on now. And last lap will be the next lap around. So it's going to be all to play for here at the front of the pack. It's what we saw last time, but in the different order. Daniel Fletcher, though, this time is leading the way, not Daniel Moore. And I'm sure this is a different story for Moore this time. Is he going to try and catch up to Fletcher, though? Has he got the time?
I think that's... these drivers are so fast at the front and so evenly matched that I'd be very surprised. I think that the story of this race might be, is Alan Dove going to make it come back? I think at the moment he looks quite far away, but yes, the slipstream, he's only 7/10 away, and it's about half a second that you need, and you can see on the time there that the slipstream is working already. He's pulling that time down nearly 2/10 on that straight alone. So if Alan can keep it together, we might have, how many laps do we have left, DJ? One more after this, right?
I would say one more after this, yes. Time we're at 1.5 minutes on lap 7. I think it's very likely that we'll cross the line this time to start the final lap next time around. Still watching second place, Daniel Moore. I'm not sure if Alan has picked up damage. I'm not sure if damage is on the server. We know tyre wear is, and of course we've seen him lock up a few too many times running on those 50p tyres as it goes through, and you can see now that that gap is opening up. But is the gap between Moore and Fletcher closing? It was 2.5 seconds as they entered the corner. It's 2.6 now they've exited the corner. Back on board with Alan Dove. He's getting all over those curbs. You can see how much it affects the kart as they go through the final couple of corners in towards the final corner. And again, no moves done just there. Nowhere near as close enough as his, say, he needs to be much further back to even attempt to move, does Alan Dove, doesn't he? He likes it much further back.
Yeah, I think so. Alan could do one of his famous no brake moves, but I think even for Alan, this might be a bit too far of a lunge. So, yeah, my thinking is that the race, the top three are settled now. But I was just looking through the order, DJ, and we've had a good showing from Gavin Bennett, who it's his first time in this championship, and he's up in 8th. So, yeah, it's a very close championship, and there's some great drivers. So good to see some new entrants doing relatively well here.
Yep, it is excellent to see drivers take part in this championship. Of course, a very fun but challenging championship it is at that moment. But of course, great performance from all the drivers on this grid. But keeping an eye on these top two, that gap has closed up slightly. You can see between Alan Dove and Daniel Moore again. It opened up again. A big lock from Daniel Moore. Is that going to affect him for the exit here out of the chicane? It looks like it has. The gap has closed down to less than a second now. It was just over as they entered the chicane. But that view there is not a hopeful one as we're on the last lap.
I don't think a driver as strong as Daniel Moore is going to make a mistake that's going to cost him a second now. So, yeah, a bit of a lock-up there. I don't know how that happened unless the wind changed. Cost him a few tenths, but yeah, he's still looking good for a second. So the O-plate Daniel Fletcher comes round the final few corners to take the win. Daniel Moore in a strong second, and Alan Dove, there's 2 third places for him today. So Yeah, unfortunately, Alan falls a bit further behind in the championship, but Daniel Fletcher will take the lead after this.
Yep, Daniel Fletcher round the final corner, Virage Dupont onto the start-finish straight. He's going to take the win for race 2 here for the Karting1 SuperKart Championship. And as you can see, he's delighted with that one, doing a nice 360 as well to complete it. Absolutely spotless there was that. I would have been petrified. I probably wouldn't have even attempted it. But there we go. That's just me. Daniel Amor then finishing in second place, holding off Alan Dove, who finishes in third. Again, a good finish from both of those. Jack Dex finishing in fourth. Sharky up into fifth place. Jack Bird in sixth. Harry Buck in seventh. Gavin Bennett, excellent finish from him. He's crossing the line now in eighth place. Tony Moore in ninth. As they cross the line, you can just see there, Dean Hale in the background there in the red and white car. He crosses the line 10th place. Jonathan Bell crosses in 10th. So did Dean Hale there just pick up a penalty as they cross the line? Steve Calvert finishes in 12th and Andy Dean finishes in 13th place. Well, what a race 2. Again, fantastic at the start. Lots of contact that we saw from all of those drivers. Will, that was a brilliant one. I couldn't keep up for half the time.
Oh, it was brilliant. I think we missed a lot of good moves actually, DJ. Yeah, it's the reverse grids really gives a very entertaining second race. Not that the first race was lacking in action at all. So it would be great to see what they do at Alton Park in the next race.
Definitely so. Of course, it's been a brilliant one. Alton Park, again, these cars don't like bumpy circuits, and they've decided to go to a circuit that is incredibly bumpy.
I think this will be whoever can keep it on the track will be doing very well. And also, apparently, it's real weather too. So we might see a rainy Alton Park with bumps and gravel traps. So, yeah, the drivers need to work on keeping it on track, I think.
Yep, we leave mainland land Europe, heading back to Blighty for Alton Park next week. So make sure you don't miss out on that one. Will, again, for today, you told us what it was for race 1, but we want to know what your event driver of the day is.
I think DJ, it's got to go to Daniel Fletcher this time. Brilliant to take second place in the last one, and just how he cut his way through the field at the start of this race and then dominated from there. So yeah, I think it quite easily goes to Daniel Fletcher, but that's not to mention some great driving from Alan and Daniel Amor. How about you?
Oh, that's an excellent question.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
I mean, it is. Driver of the event. I'm going to have to give it to Daniel Amor. Because
controversial.
Yeah. I'm going to give it to Daniel Amor. Because he's put in a great performance. He won the first round. He finished second in the second race, starting from the back. And of course, we know Daniel Fletcher as well. He started nearer enough to the back of the grid. But again, a great performance from the rule. Super quick around the track. I'm going to have to give it to Daniel Amor.
That's an interesting one, DJ. I did think Daniel Amor, but then when I remember that Daniel Fletcher started... Daniel Amor started behind Fletcher. Yeah, so they kind of maintained their order. It's a really tough one, isn't it? It was a dominant performance from both of them when they won their races. So, yeah, I'm going with Daniel Fletcher, and you can go with Daniel Amor. So there we go, fairly well balanced. And of course, Alan Dove, both of us in the first race. So I think the top three will be happy with our assessments.
Yes, I definitely think so. Well, I'm sure that will definitely shake up the championship standings, especially as we were missing one of our drivers, of course, taking part in another race. Sam Fowler not here, so he's lost valuable points there from round 4. He'll have to wait for round 5 at Alton Park next Saturday. Make sure you don't miss it. I've been Anthony Jordan. Will, you've been Will Dendy, and we will see you for round 5.
Thank you, everyone. Looking forward to see you then.